Welcome, everybody. This is Kitchen Table Talk, Episode 2 for business startups, where we're going on a journey to develop a business from scratch, from the kitchen table. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about n- names of businesses, because this is going to be very, very important for you to choose is a very unique name for your company or your product or services that you're going to be doing. Uh, that's going to be one of the most important things that you're going to be choosing when you're moving forward, when you're starting your business, because this is going to be your marketing. This is going to be the brand. This is going to be the personality of your company. And so you want to really choose a name that's is very unique. And when you talk about unique, it's just, you can use it several different combinations of unique names. Like you you can combine two different names together that are maybe dissociated with each other, and also very important is kind of disassociated with the business itself. So it probably doesn't even fit from what you're doing. Um, so that's kind of good. You can also just do some play on words. You can drop letters from words and make it kind of a little bit unique, as long as they're not like very long or very complicated, where your target group that you're trying to communicate with can find it complicated or unmemorable in some weird way because it's like too long or it's just kind of too complicated and they can't spell it or something. So beware of that. There's a tendency to use like the words that you play on it for so much that it just becomes, if you can say it like extreme with an X, or extreme with two X's, or something like, you don't want to go that route. You just want to choose something that's um, that's unique in a way that it's also kind of simple for people. So, for instance, in the microbrewery world, there's a lot of this, since that industry explodes with a lot of different businesses and brands. They will come up with names like Blue Donkey, for instance, and that right there is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it might sound silly at first, but that works. Using two little dissociated words and slam them together is a good idea to do that. You know how to go that route. I mean, using one word is totally cool. I mean, think about Uber, think Google, think Amazon. These names are, of course, very powerful brands right now, and they're icons of their industry and their business sector. But if you think about it, Uber didn't call themselves the taxi app, and Amazon didn't call themselves the general store, and Google didn't call themselves like the standard search company. So uh, they came up with these unique names because things like that are make it very memorable and have very good marketing power for your business. Way, 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 way back in the day, yeah, it was kind of common for companies, because there wasn't very many to actually call themselves like General Electric or the Standard Oil, or something that's kind of very generic like that, because back then it created a lot of powerful association with that name to the public at that time. But as times change, businesses change too, so you got to kind of adapt to the change of times. And now that there's um, literally just millions and millions and millions of businesses out there, millions of brands out there, it's going to be very hard to come up with a name that's kind of generic that nobody else really has, because AAA Auto or something that used to be the big thing during the phone book days, or try to list yourselves in the A's or try to list yourself in the top part of your alphabet. So I mean, that's what people did, just not too long ago. And now with the internet, it's all about short, concise, kind of unique names, dissociated with the industry that you're in. So at one time it was okay to say Gateway Computers. Gateway is kind of generic. They're no longer around. But Dell, that's a better name. Compaq, better name. Those that's what you want to think about when you think about marketing. When you come up with a business name or a brand name. Um, you want to be actually very careful in this. And when you're doing your research and you're trying to brainstorm and coming up with a company name or a brand name, especially a company name. I mean, if you're going to go out and call it, the name of yourself or something, and it's a holding company, people do that. People might have some generic names. That's actually the business name, but they're doing a DBA, doing business as a certain certain name, or they're actually having a company that has a pretty unique name. Either one, you want to make sure that if you are going to have this name, that you stick with it. It's very tempting to kind of change it, uh, live and learn. Like I had a business name that I used when I first started out, and it was I thought it was a pretty good name. To me, it's still probably a pretty good name, but I pivoted into a different industry, and decided to change everything, and that include also the business name. Wanted to keep the same business entity. That means the same EIN, the same entity status, so to do a name change, you have to file all these forms and amendments, to the state and the IRS. I mean, there isn't even a form to do a name change. You actually have to draft a letter, just a blank letter where you have to start out with a blank letter, no templates or anything, and you have to actually draft it and tell them what you're doing, you change the name and all this and everything else, and you have to send it in by snail mail, and it takes like 6 weeks. I mean, it's crazy, the bureaucracy of just doing a name change. So I would suggest that if you are going to do a name change, change a name, just try to avoid it. Just pick a good name from the beginning. So um, do your research, check out your state websites, for business entities, because there's probably a lot of them out there, and then look in the national level, and then globally if you want to. Google is your friend. Just remember, there's probably a lot of businesses out there that have business names that are not even on the internet. So that's why I say, like, go into the state, especially the state that you reside in, or the state of the entity that you're doing business in, and just do a business entity search and see if there's anything close, because you don't want to cause any conflicts. But the more unique you are in your business name, probably the better off that you are, not only for marketing purposes, but to stand out in front of against all the other companies that are out there, and you avoid some conflicts as well, because there's a lot of businesses out there. So do your homework, think of it, brainstorm, kick around the names to your friends and other people. Don't worry about anybody stealing a name. People aren't going to really do that. So it's okay to kind of share that. Um, but if you do pick a name, feel it, make sure it's working well for you, make sure it's like something that you can live with. It's almost like a tattoo. You're going to probably want to live with this thing for the for the remainder of your business life. So so do your due diligence, do your homework, and come up with a great business name. And if you do, you're in a really, really good start for starting a business. Thank you.